Hey guys, welcome. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you tuning in. My name is Jordan, if we haven't met before, and I'd like you to subscribe to this channel if you are looking for content to help with your success mindset and you're looking to dive deeper into your self-development journey. So in today's video, what we're going to be discussing is this profound concept that what unlocked level one or level two of your life, let's say in career, or let's say you're running a business, relationships, you can apply this principle to anything really. But what unlocked the level that you're at is not going to unlock the level that you're going for. Okay. And when we think about it, we all have goals that we'd love to achieve, levels we'd love to rise to. Let's say I'm assuming that you're entrepreneurial, or you're someone that's quite driven in the career and business space, and you've got a goal that you want to ascend to. And when we think about that, what we usually say to ourselves is the way that I'm going to get to that next goal, the way I'm going to reach up is if I have the knowledge, if I know the right people, or if I have enough money to do it. Okay. It usually comes down to one of those three things. Sometimes time, but time gets bundled up into money. Lots of people, me included, I still fall into this trap. When we have lots of money, we earn our time back and we have a lot more energy because things are handled. Okay. And the reality is, that is true to an extent. But if you have a look at history and you have a look at probably people the business owner that comes into some money to start the business, and they buy the equipment, they rent the premise where they're going to run their business from, if it's like a store, or maybe they're a coach, and they get the money and they buy all the things online that they need to build courses, right? So they have that and they get the time to do it. But we all know that that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be successful in the future. Quite often, if we just pull it down to statistics out there, most startups, most people who start a business, they fail. I think it's like 95% of startups fail. And so that premise of, if we have the money to reach up, that then we're going to be all good. Now we know this to be true, but we still have this habit, like me included. We get caught up in our head. Oh, I'd love to go for that next promotion. I'd love to step back from my business and work more on the vision and hire more people, but I don't have the money. But I don't know the right people, Jordan. I don't know the right people, like, to hire, or to find a way to get an interview with that company. And so still, we know that knowing the right people doesn't necessarily guarantee success in the long term. Having the money doesn't guarantee success in the long term, but we still put the power there. And so that's where we come to this real profound. It sounds simple, but it's a profound assumption in play. And it's that what unlocked your level, where you're at right now, my level, where I'm at in my life, it's not going to unlock where we're going. I think back to when I closed my call center. That was my previous business before COVID hit, right? And I knew that there was another level of lifestyle, right? I'm going to put it in like the lifestyle category that I was going for. So I typically come from like a 9 to 5 hustle, make lots of sales calls, manage people, basically be in the office and just go helter skelter from like 7 in the morning. I used to do some international calls till about 7 p.m. at night. Um, and that was my day. And then whatever I could do in the morning and at night after that was whatever, health, or catch up with mates, dating, all that kind of stuff. And so when COVID hit and I shut down that business, um, there was an obvious, I want a different lifestyle now. And even I wasn't exactly clear on what that was, but I was trying to work it out. I knew it had something to do with getting more travel in, being able to sleep in a bit more, being healthier. Um, but I couldn't design it. I remember getting really confused, getting in my head, how much is it going to cost? How much money will I need to earn? What kind of job, what kind of business will I run to ensure that I can have this lifestyle? So I was very like in my head and in the process of trying to plan out how I would do this. Now, that behavior is what I did in sales, right? It's exactly what I did. You know, before my day would start, I would look at the leads that I had that had come in. I'd looked at how many appointments I'd pre-booked, and I'd work out how many calls I needed to make alongside the appointments I already had, and what that should on average work out in terms of deals closed for the end of the day for me. And I'd get my salespeople to do the same. So I'd do all that and I'd have my day mapped out and I would always execute as best I could. You know, some days you don't get everything done, but most days especially when it came to phone calls, everything had to get done. But what was fascinating was, so that worked for sales, but you know, for a good year, I struggled. I could not ascend to this next vision, right? I couldn't even see what I would. I wouldn't even allow myself because it's like, how much is it going to cost? And this and that and that and that. And I'm like, you know, if someone asked me, yeah, Jordan, what's this next thing that you're creating in your life, or what are your goals at the moment? I would have said, well, I want this. I kind of want this. And then, you know, I'm not exactly clear because I don't know how much money. So that kind of thinking that was all down to because I was bringing the same behavior, the same emotions, the same thoughts from sales to this new lifestyle. Okay. And so that doesn't work. And I could give you so many other examples where it just has not worked for me. If we have a look in the athletic world, right? So we're going to talk about basketball here. We all know Michael Jordan. You know, we see this play out even in the who's who of this world. So Michael Jordan, I'm assuming you've watched The Last Dance. If you haven't watched The Last Dance, documentary on Netflix of Michael Jordan and the success of the Chicago Bulls in the 90s, you want to go and watch that. This is gonna that nails exactly what we're talking about here. But it's fascinating to watch that because what I'm talking about here happened with Michael. You know, when he got drafted by the Bulls, well, was it? Yeah, well, he started playing at the Bulls. I don't know if he got drafted by a team and then the Bulls came in and swapped a pick for Michael Jordan. I can't remember, but he got drafted by the Bulls. He started there, right? And so you see Michael rises to stardom immediately. But what got him to being a recognized star in the NBA, someone that's dropping a lot of points, getting rebounds, wasn't really an assist first player like LeBron. Won't get involved in that. I'm a LeBron fan. But anyway, what made him Michael Jordan a star in the league is not what made him the Michael Jordan that won his first ring. Okay. So the star Michael Jordan, there was a jump that he needed to make to get to like the championship winning Michael Jordan. There was a gap. And if you watch the documentary, you'll see, I don't want to spoil it all for you, but there was some roadblocks there and he couldn't make that leap for a while. Okay. There were teams that he was running into, opponents that he just couldn't beat on his own. And so what Michael Jordan did, and you see this, that there was a change. There was a change in how he approached things. And so, though he didn't say it was a shift in frequency and using more new age principles, you'll hear Michael Jordan say in the documentary that there was a change in mindset. He had to work out how to make people around him better, how to hold them more accountable. He even said he had to change the way he was training. And so, what I got out of that, okay, if we bring it back to the new age mindset um, principles that we're talking about here, there was a change in orientation for Michael Jordan. It wasn't just about him. You know, it was like he stopped thinking about how much can I do as the star, and he went to me as the leader, me as the leader of the Chicago Bulls, me as like the guy that's going to lift everyone up around me. What can I do from that front? And you see, you know, that was the key to Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Steve Kerr, and all of these other like incredible players that supported Mike, they all rose up and did really, really well, and they got amazing results. And so we know this about Michael Jordan, and this is the key to being able to make these jumps, right? And so if we bring it back to premises, okay, so if we know that being in that same mind frame, that feeling those same emotions and transferring that across to ascending towards our goals, whether it is to make those sales calls to clients that you've never called before because you know those are the deals that your business really needs, or if it's to reach out to get that job interview for a higher position or a different company in a new industry, and it's like this is very new. There's something that we need to own, and that is again, our rational mind is going to come in and it's going to spit at us the way that we've done it before. Okay, this is something we have to own. Before I give you some things that you can do to essentially neutralize the way that you've done things, you've got to own that, like a you know. Like a knee-jerk reaction, your rational mind is going to spit at you the the emotions, the unconscious thoughts, the physical sensations, everything that basically makes us move as people. And that information is going to get you bringing that old past data, okay, that old way of doing things into those action steps that are going to take you to that next level. And so we don't want to do that because, as you've probably worked out, if we do that, we're going to create what we've always created. We're going to have that same level of results. And so if we're not going to do that, what we need to learn is we need to learn how to essentially neutralize these patterns. And it's through understanding that, first off, we have a higher consciousness, okay, a higher level of self-awareness that we can access that feeds us new feelings and new assumptions that essentially tell our subconscious mind, hey, we are playing at a whole new level, a level that we've never played at. Okay. That's what the subconscious mind needs to get if you are going to show up in a way that you've never shown up before, if you're going to act in a way that you've never acted before. And when I say act, I'm not talking about pretending there. It's like you're embodying a new level of character. It's authentic, it's you, but you've essentially never accessed it before. So the way that we do this, okay, a tip is first assuming that you have this higher consciousness. Like if you have a look around the world right now, it's really popular to say things like higher self and people being connected to their own sense of spirituality. But I don't know about you guys, but when I started off getting into this world and accessing higher consciousness and meditating and all that kind of stuff, my objection was, how practical is this? I mean, it's good to make me feel calm, but does this manifestation bullshit really work? Okay. And the truth is that there are premises out there that work for some people, and there are premises out there that do not work for other people. So, what will work for one person won't work for the other. But one premise that I would recommend, as a bloke that has gone through that thing, and as a guy that's been really resistant to this more feminine way of leadership and essentially going about creating a new path in life. Okay, what I'm about to give you here has really worked for me. So test it out, massage it in, and see how you go. But I swear by it. I apply this principle every day, and it never lets me down. Okay. And so the premise is we have a higher consciousness, a high level of self-awareness that we can access to feed us feelings, emotions, feelings and emotions are the same thing, but thoughts, beliefs, all kinds of things that we have not experienced before. Okay, that's the assumption. Now, if you do not adopt that assumption, you kind of go, yeah, bullshit, Jordan. But I'd like, if you're unconsciously saying that to yourself, but you're like, but I'd like to give it a go, it's not going to work. Okay. You want to assume that you have this yourself. And, you've probably experienced it. You've probably experienced it before in fleeting moments where you've kind of go, oh, that random idea, or I'm noticing that. Oh, that's interesting. I was just thinking about this before. When we have those moments that we can't really explain why we're connecting dots or why we're getting certain ideas or why certain people continue to show up in our life, this is our higher consciousness kicking in. Okay, so you need to adopt that assumption first for this to really work. Okay, so once you've adopted that, now before I go on, you don't necessarily need to believe in it. Okay, this is another big misconception when I train people in this, in my workshops and what have you. People are like, oh, Jordan, I don't know if I really believe it though. It's like you don't need to believe it because that's your rational mind. That's the level of your rational mind. You believe in something, then you do it. Okay, when we go higher, if we want to create things that we've never created before, there's going to be like a void, a space in time where we don't believe it because we've never done it. So it's like when you taste new food. If someone said this is really good, okay, you might believe it to an extent, but there's going to be part of you that will not believe it until you taste the food and decide for yourself, right? So do not have a problem with, I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I believe I have a higher consciousness. It's like, let go of that. Okay. We try, we experiment, and then once we get the reference point, the result, then we can say, hey, this worked. This worked. I'm going to do it again. And then the more you do it, the more you believe in it. Okay. So once we have that assumption, what we then do is we use our imagination. We use our imagination, okay, to propel us, to ascend us to the level of the goal that we have. Okay. Now there's exercises and things to help you do this, but I don't have time to take you through that all today. But if you were to just each day, right, get into the habit of grounding yourself, taking like, again, I'm only talking about a couple minutes, and you were to imagine yourself. The key here is to imagine, not to force yourself to think about it and feel it out and know whether it's possible. None of that. You imagine you're there. It's like you're imagining that you are at the end result, that goal. Okay, you're at the level of that goal. And so how this would look is you would shut your eyes, you would start to imagine that you can see a picture of you at the goal that you are desiring to get. So whether this is closing that deal, hiring that A-grade person that you've been looking for, starting that business successfully, whatever it is, right? That new thing that you're going for. You imagine you're there. You're not in the process. You're there. It's done, right? And then what you do is you imagine what's that picture, and you imagine this, and you can't get it wrong, right? You can't get it wrong. If it's all imaginary and you're making it up, you'll see that you'll start to formulate a vision. Once you're there, you want to connect to the subtle emotions. Now, this is where, what I'm about to give you is going to rock your world, okay? When we rise to a new level, what I found is the new level, the emotions in the new level, that vision, that end result, are subtle. They're subtle because they're new. We're not used to them. The emotions of the old level, the success we've always had, the sales we've always made, the jobs we've always attracted, the people that we've always attracted into our lives, the conversations we're always having, those emotions are more palpable. They're more familiar. Okay? Remember this. Your new level, the feelings in that vision are going to be more subtle. They're not going to be as, oh, man, I'm excited, or, oh, man, I'm feeling pumped, because it's foreign. It's foreign, okay? But the key is to take note of them, and feel them, and feel them. You give yourself a couple minutes, okay? I'm talking like 2-3 minutes to do this every day. What you'll start to notice is that you will begin to rise and accustom yourself to that new level. And your behavior and the way you move around is going to start to change. Okay. Now, again, I'm not talking about a massive change here because we haven't gone through the full training and everything that's required to essentially move right into this. But this is the perfect place to start because let me tell you, the people that really thrive with what I'm talking about, okay, they feel the subtle emotions, they feel the subtlety of the new level, and they let go of the palpable, intense level of the past. Please hear what I just said there. If I could tell myself back in 2020, Jordan, this is going to help. Okay, when you start playing with higher consciousness, I would have said this. You've got to get used to this subtlety that comes into reaching for new levels. It's very, very, very rarely, I would say almost all the time, it's subtle. Okay. And if you can start to do that every day, tuning into the subtle emotions, what you'll notice is they become less subtle and you start to feed your body and your minds these energy sources, right? Because if you didn't know it, emotions is what drive us to behave, right? Without emotions, we wouldn't do anything. I probably should have said that earlier, but it's true. Without emotions, we will not move. We won't make decisions. We won't speak. We won't, get ideas. It's just impossible. So we've got to harness that freshness of those subtle emotions if we're going to reach up. We're going to reach up in our pursuit of this next level of success. Okay. And we've got to let go of the addictive nature. It's like, oh, I'm pumped. This is good. I'm feeling happy. That's done. Those days are done. I'm not saying that you're not going to feel happy and excited anymore. That's not it, right? Because quite often what I've if I fast forward from where I opened that loop about that lifestyle, when I started practicing what I'm preaching right now, and I got the vision of me traveling around the world, working from my laptop and having like homes all around the world, the emotions that I felt, the word that I would give them, I gave them two words. So it was spacious, okay, and it was mountain perched. All right, it's mountain. It's like it's high up. But now again, it sounds like those aren't emotions, but those were the only words I could really make up. These were emotions I'd never really felt before. And so as I've traveled, okay, I've always found a way to find homes that are very spacious where I can do my work, make my music, do my writing, and all that kind of stuff. And I've always been perched up somewhere. I've always had like a nice, mountainous view. I'll show you guys this one now, what I'm looking at. Hopefully you can see that out there, looking onto all those hills there. So, that's this is something that I wasn't able to not only create back in 2020, but I didn't even know I wanted it. I didn't know I wanted it because I didn't have those emotions in my body. So I encourage you to do this because now this is a reality for me. Back in 2020, I didn't know that this was possible, but now it's every 2 months, okay, sometimes a month, usually 2 months, I'm off somewhere else around Australia, the world. It's incredible, right? But it takes that letting go of, oh, my apartment. I'm relaxed. Oh, the bills are paid. Those emotions, like we've got to let go of that if we're going to create a new level. Okay. All right, guys, that rounds us up for today's video episode. If you liked what you watched and heard today in this video, please subscribe to the channel. You'll see that I'll be posting more videos like this moving forward on mindset and helping you ascend to your real level, your true level in life. And if this resonated with you, and you know that there's a friend of yours that would really benefit from what we've been talking about today, please do share this with someone that is looking for that next level. Because I can tell you right now, ever since COVID hit and my life was thrown into Australia, the world's was thrown into Australia. I've been on this journey. I got really committed to learning how do we ascend? How do we find this new level, and how do we let go of what's no longer for us? And it's been a journey, let's just say that. So I really want to help you guys. I want to pass on, pay it forward what's worked for me. And yeah, if you do know another bloke out there that could use this, do share it around. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Have a good day.